Good morning all. Sorry I've not been in touch for the last 3 days. 4 days even. We have the weekends off and we haven't recorded for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thank you to the 826 subscribers. We've got 826 as we speak, which is amazing. And welcome to what is a very wet and overcast and thundery and lightning-y. Is that sort of a word? Lots of lightning, lots of rain, lots of thunder, lots of water in our not finished pool, which I'll update you with in a minute. Before I start, can I just ask you to like and subscribe to the video? You guys helping me getting this out there is much appreciated. Hi to Dennis and Lynn, who came yesterday. A couple of people watching the YouTube channel who are on the island for a couple of weeks and came over and said hello. Sorry for not obviously doing the videos for the last 3 days. Apparently they wait up and wait for me to upload and I don't upload. So I didn't realise I was keeping so many people up, not just my wife. So anyway, on that note, obviously, lovely to see Dennis and Lynn, and they admitted, we don't comment on your videos. Comment, give me some comments, give me some love, give me some feedback, give me some positive, negative, whatever. There's been quite a few over the weekend. For some reason, I'm not seeing some of them. YouTube's not showing me the comments, so if I don't respond, that's not because I'm not responding, it's because I've not seen it. So I have to sometimes do a manual search and I see them. There's one individual, a Bayesian guy, that obviously commented over the weekend, last Wednesday, Thursday, just about me sometimes calling it a Bayesian thing, you know. I don't mean that. I did say to the guy, you know, from my point of view, point taken, I shouldn't be slagging off, if you like, Bayesians. That's not what I'm doing. It's the construction trade worldwide, but here just seems to be a little bit worse, shall we say. So apologies to the man I apologise to online. From my point of view, I'd like to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I'm highlighting flaws in a system. You know, it's a construction system, it's not a Bayesian system, but at the same time, Bayesians are responsible with me and other people to try and help change the issue. A lot of people in the last year have either decided not to build after watching our videos, or has made them realise exactly what they've got to contend with if they do build on this island. So that should tell you a story. If people are literally scared of building because of the loss they could make or the lack of commitment they can receive, that's a shame, because the Bayesian economy loses out on that. So any Bayesians out there that got any ideas about how I can try and help, make the changes needed to ensure that more people come here and spend money, then let me know. I can tell you now, it's been very, very painful for me, and it's been very costly as well because of that. The other thing, talking about costs, obviously, Biden. What an absolute penis. Jesus, what are you doing? Today we're at 108, right? It's meant to be 106. I managed to get exchange rate of 108 this morning. We were at 143 this time last year. That's a lie. We're at 143 around about June, July of last year. But we were in the 13s this time last year. We are going to go negative dollar. Negative dollar meaning, at the moment, you're getting $108 to £1. You're going to get minus 1 to £1. That is disastrous. So anybody, like I said, that's looking to build here or is building here, be careful, tighten your belts, do some reading, go on YouTube. There's plenty of Forex traders out there that can give you an overview on what's going on with the world at the moment. Anybody that's looking to buy or build here, be very careful. Den, Lynn, I don't know what your expectation is at the moment, but as you said yesterday, the house was £270,000 you're looking to buy. That's gone up to 330 already before you've even exchanged. You know, it's going to get worse. So everybody be bloody careful, that's for sure. Anyway, that's a little bit of a rant. Biden, you need to be sacked. The system is flawed. The UK is just as bad. Be bloody careful is my warning to you. Okay, let me show you a couple of things that we've done, if I can get out in the rain, that is. So let me show you the back first. We obviously raked this as best we could. It's still very, very uneven, but rather than waiting any longer because the Bobcat man broke down and couldn't come out and blah, 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 we decided to get the actual weed sheet down anyway, just to stop the weeds coming through. So again, it changes the look of the back already. So you can see that straight away by putting some form of turf, seeds, grass, astroturf, whatever it's going to be, it will change the look of back there immediately. So that's something we're definitely going to do. I am at the moment considering putting some form of shrubbery along there. I don't want to be able to maintain it like this. As you can see, Alan's been out in the last couple of days trimming some of his stuff. His man's done the coconut tree, there's stuff there. That's all got to be trimmed off back. You know, I don't want to be trimming other people's stuff, let alone my own. So I need to consider what I'm going to do there. We've had no luck with the pool. We've had quite a few people that have come out and seen us, and a few people have quoted. Some of the quotes have been astronomically expensive. I mean, the pool is built, the infrastructure is in. You know, you're talking 1 to 200,000 to build a pool on the island of this sort of size, probably 150 in total, Bayesian. But we're built. All we got to do is put the colour on, put the tiles in, and install the pumps. It's not a rocket science job. But I think sometimes the whole build itself being very modern overwhelms some people. So we've had a quote of just under 50,000 to get it finished off, which is just ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, there are some things that need to be sorted out, but at the same time, even if we tile this edge all the way around here, we can take the imperfections, shall we say, of the floor, we can take that up with tile adhesive and tile that if we have to. But from my point of view, you know, I just want to get some bloody water in it. God's helping me at the moment, obviously. I just want to get some water in it and start using it, you know. It's not a rocket science thing to do, and I don't want to be doing it. I've done everything else. I fitted bloody garage doors, I plastered, I fitted windows, you know, you name it, I've done it. This is one thing that I don't want to do, not because I'm too lazy to do it or don't have the time to do it. I want it to be perfect, which means that I'd rather use somebody on the island that can show me they've got a CV of perfect pool installation and come and make some money and do it for us. Emerson, if you watch this, Emerson came out to see us. He's meant to be one of the best tiling pool men on the island. He's assured me he's got a slot in 2 weeks' time, and he will try and slot us in. I think what I should do is use him to come out and help us level all of this from a tiling point of view. We're looking to mosaic the full sun shelf, all of the steps. We're thinking about taking mosaics all the way around here between 6 and 12 deep, around the edge here, take it right over the edge, all the way down into the trough, the floor of the trough, and then up about 2 feet, and then the rest of it coloured. So if I can get him to do that, and then we can decide whether we're going to do something on here. We could even tile here as well. So the option is leave it as it is and tile, leave it as it is and plaster, come up with a coping stone on here and put a decking in here, come up with a coping stone and take that all the way over to here and have a little step. So you step up onto a shelf that is slightly angled that way. There's a number of solutions we can have. I just need somebody that's got the common sense and the skills to do the pool, and also more importantly at the right budget and the availabilities can come and do it now. So if anybody knows anybody, let me know. Hopefully Emerson will be able to do the tiling for me, and then we have to just make a decision what we're going to do with the rest. Let's face it, sticking in the actual pool pump and the other bits and bobs can't be that hard to do. The thing we are waiting for at the moment, All Round have given us a quote to make some 18-inch by 18-inch louver windows that we're going to screw into the back of this building here downstairs, obviously on this wall here, and another one on that wall so the air can flow through. I am very nervous with that, obviously, because we're right next to the beach. That means the salt air is going to go flying in and be all around the pumps. But again, if you don't put some form of some form of ventilation to let the pumps breathe, then they're not going to solve anyway. So you're in a situation where survival over salt, survival over moisture are the two things you're contending with. But again, getting that installed once that's done and installing all the pump and that's not rocket science. I mean, it's just Meccano. You sit the pump off the ground, you connect it into a feed to the pool, a return to the pool, and a cold water main. It's not hard. All the electrics are down there, so it's just a case of plug and play. So that's ready to be done. We've obviously got the pool product anyway from America, so whoever does the pool doesn't have to go and source it and buy it and install it. It's just there, ready to be mixed up and installed. So I think we need to start putting some emphasis on that and getting that pushed in the next couple of days, if the rain ever stops, that is. We've had the electrical cupboard in here plasterboarded in, so we've not sanded it down yet, but it's plasterboarded, it's beaded, and it's filled, just waiting to sand and paint, so that will be finished off. I can show you that at some stage when the rain stops. I can get over. Where else are we? Inside, obviously, I tiled, but I've still not finished the grouting yet. Let me show you around the front. Okay, so the garage door in. Sorry about that, it was an incoming call. So again, the garage door, as you know, is all bent and doesn't like going up and down very well, but it does work. I think the slats are slightly moving over as it goes up and down because of the bend, which obviously makes it catch and then starts trying to derail itself, which isn't ideal. Kestrel was the company I used to bring it over. Kestrel have got photos of it going on the ship looking pretty straight. So they're now in the midst of talking to the shipping company and the receivers at this end to try and find out who's responsible to put a claim in. So a ball ache, unfortunately, but that's one thing we're gonna have to do. The garage door sensors and everything are in. As you can see up here, we've had the 220 here put into the actual ceiling, and we've now run a trunking down. However, we do have a bit of a piss trunking, which is bugging me, so that's gonna have to come out and be trimmed back and done properly. I'm gonna fold that back up. That's a wireless receiver. It's outside at the moment, but you can put it inside, so I'll probably get that done. And then you've actually got the buttons here. As you can see, it does come down. Makes a bit of a grind, a bit of a noise. But it does come in and stop, so let me show you from the outside. So it's not too bad, as you can see, but there is just the odd huge dent, crease. And further up the door, there's lots more of these, which you can see in the light. Look, crease. There's lots of those. And then obviously, like I showed you the other day, you get the gap above there where it's actually coming in. The green, we've done nothing more on the green so far, obviously, but the green does look good. We've set on it, and I definitely think it looks good. And this unsunned light, the grey looks amazing as well. So we're going to go with the grey all the way around the bottom of the building when I've got time to do it, after we've actually taken down Jungle Gym. We're going to go with this green all the way around the boundary walls, again, once I've sold one of the children and raised the money. Great light, by the way. I don't know if I've shown you that. We installed this. This is a PriceMart option, 122 plus VAT, 2000 lumens, absolutely brilliant, and wireless. So we've stuck that up for now, really bright. Obviously it's plastic. I'm not too sure if it's going to land up lasting because it will go brittle, but again, better than metal. These two complement it at the moment, but as you can see, they've gone, this one here has gone a bit of an off yellow color now. Look, it was white. This one's starting to go, so I'm sure that one will do the same. That's the only downside. And around here, we actually mounted another version, which is the lamppost version. Again, I think it was about 110 Bayesian, 4,000 lumens. But that is not solar. That's obviously one that's connected directly up to electric, and absolutely brilliant. It lights up all of this. So it's on a night and day sensor. So as soon as the actual sun disappears over the hill over there, she fires up and lights up the whole place. So meant to last for about 50 to 60,000 hours. So it should last quite some time. I'm a bit gutted that you can see this line all the way along here. It wasn't so major because obviously we're going to slat down here, but now we've had the price and the quote for the wood, which has turned out quite expensive. I'm not too sure if that's going to happen. Anyway, one thing that has happened, we fixed the gutter, which I told you about last week, but this morning I've gone into my daughter's bedroom here and there is water inside again. So I mean, apart from literally trying to now get right underneath the gutter itself, go down and underneath and try and cover in there, I don't know what else I can do. It sounds like it's not a crack in the ceiling stroke roof issue. It sounds like it is a gutter issue. So initially what I've done this morning, I've cut an inch off the plasterboard off the floor, so as it comes through, it doesn't soak into the plasterboard. But we're definitely going to have to get that sorted out. And at this present time, obviously, it's not what we thought it was going to be. And I am going to check today as well, because we have been getting damp downstairs in this corner of the basement. Now, obviously, the steps are pretty much where the basement is, and then we have this. So it's making me feel it might also be the gutter problem as well. So the gutter's coming down here, and it leaks right about there. So is that still managing to get through the gutter itself? So obviously what's happening, I think, water is coming down outside the gutter and is landing up, hitting the slab here and going into her bedroom. Is it finding its way through the gutter itself and going down into the basement and soaking that wall? We're assuming it's coming through the wall here because of this. But we dug this up, if you remember rightly, and we put loads of waterproof concrete down there. So, and it's still doing it. So it makes me believe it might also be the same problem with this bloody gutter. So anyway, that's another issue we got to contend with. We also did start on the door and the door frame on Thursday and Friday. We got the door open. We've started putting a bit of a plan together. We brought some anthracite grey, which is the same grey as that, in a satin wood. We are going to sand it down initially, fill it, and paint it in a satin wood for now and see what it looks like, including, we're probably going to take this out because the guy that fitted the door has put 2 beads either side, which is ridiculous. But either way, one should be flush and then the glass sits up against it, and the other one then becomes a bead. That one's slightly set back by 2-3 mil, and the other one obviously is clearly set back. So that's all got to come out and be reset in properly so that we can actually sand that front down as if it's one nice piece of wood, and then we can paint the whole thing grey. We've also got to do the same with the top of the door, because he's put a beading on the top. That's got to be planed and filled and sanded. And also this bead he's put down the door is where he routed out the door frame in the wrong place, and we've probably got a 2 or 3 mil proudness on the front and the sides. Again, that's got to be planed off both sides, filled, painted. And one of the biggest issues we're finding, this white stuff, this is where someone's put some tape on the door. As they pull the tape off, you just pulled the paint off. But that white you're seeing, you think it'd be white primer? Oh no, it's white filler. So that would lead me to believe that he hasn't actually used some form of sealant after he actually sanded the door. Now, I don't know why there's so much filler on anyway, but if there is filler on it, you would use some form of PVA, diluted PVA of some sort, that you would roll on so that the actual dusty sort of surface would soak in the water and seal it with a rubber, and then you would paint. But it looks like he's gone straight over the spray with a very poor primer, and as a result of it, it's just coming off. So if I now go up and scratch that now, you just get like white powder coming off. So absolutely useless. So in an ideal world, if I had the money, I'd rip the whole thing out and start again. But I don't, so we're gonna have to make it good. And I would say making it good really is going to be sanding it down, filling it right, trying to prime it as best as possible, and getting a good paint on there. So that's one thing we're going to have to do. And we're also going to have to try and tidy up around here where the white mortar's been done around the steps. It's quite poor, and we've also got to finish off around the door frame as well. So lots of work to do where that's concerned, but it is something on our radar. These 3 steps, bottom steps, are blown as well, so we're probably going to consider getting those taken off. I'd rather get them done now whilst we've still got a bit of work to do. Otherwise, it's going to be another job and another mess I'm going to have to create later on. And I really do wish, now I'm looking at this corner, I really do wish, now I know what I knew, now what I know, I wish I'd plastered the whole house rather than going with this bloody horrible white coral cement stuff. I'd rather gone for this. 1, it was bloody expensive. 2, it's giving me a cream look when it's wet. And 3, this is perfect. I mean, if you can get it put on perfectly and paint it white, it lasts. So for the sake of having to paint the house every 5 years, it would have been 10 times better. So note to self, if anyone's looking to do their house and anyone tries to sell you the white cement option, don't go with it. It's bloody expensive. No one lays it properly. And when it gets wet, it looks cream, which is not what I wanted. I wanted white. So, I don't think what else there is to add. We're not going to actually doing any work today. 1, because it's obviously raining, and 2, the guy that I have normally working with, he's got today and tomorrow off. So there's a couple of days of offness. I was going to go to Pre-Conco and places like that today and have a look at some slabs. My thought process around here, and I will upload some pictures into the video itself as and when I upload it later on today, but down here where the path is concerned, I'm thinking about actually doing concrete slabs down here. So if I can buy them and just install them, then great, but if not, do I just use the wood I've actually got to try and create some boxing down here and actually do my own and pull my own. The only downside to that is obviously trying to get the cement mixed up and installed without buying it in with a pump is going to be very difficult. So trying to get down here, with wheelbarrows when you're already setting out loads of formwork is going to be near on impossible. So that would be the best option, is just to make it up ourselves and install it. Best case scenario, we buy the cement in with a pump and pump it. But again, I'm not too sure how much concrete that is and whether that's going to be cost effective, because the pumps are bloody expensive. But anyway, that's my thought. I'm thinking if I can try and go for sort of 2 foot by 4 foot slabs with a gap of around 6 to 10 inches in between, that we either fill with stones for the water to do its running through, or some astroturf around it. That's my thought process, to go all the way down here left and then along in front of the 17-foot steps. But this has to be finished off because the guys did an awful job on this. So, it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, but at the same time, you have to finish the top, because at some stage, this is all going to be covered, but this isn't. So this is meant to be a nice finished off surface, which it's not. So we're probably going to have to break it out here and reset it straight and do it properly along here. But we do have a slight sloping going up, which is good, so the water should run down this way. So yeah, taking it over to here, so steps going all the way along here to here, then all the way down here, and then straight out the door. The other thing I have to consider, obviously, is if we ever do have guests, or we do ever rent this plot out, then obviously people will take their suitcases through here. So ideally they're going to be wheeling them around, and if it's going to be a gujung, it's not going to be pleasant. So I do need to consider that as well, but it would be the best option. Manholes, we have a young man called Dion on the island, which I've been introduced to. References were superb. Cost was pretty good. So we've got some aluminium manholes being made. We're having one made as a test to test that out. And also he is making my gate, which apparently could and may be installed by this coming Friday. So I'm going to be chasing him today to find out how he's getting on. He's obviously doing me the framework we talked about. So it's an aluminium framework. So we'll have a 20-foot aluminium framework here, and we'll have a small one over here, obviously. And the company that recommended him are going to be giving me a price to do the motors again, which we're going to chase up today because I've not heard from them. And then we will buy the wood and we will slat that wood all the way along with sapella. Sapella apparently is an African wood which is outside, hard wearing, and one of the imported woods they use here. They don't use cedars, etc. So that's the aim at the moment. The aim is obviously try and get this gate in and get it operational, and then source the wood, and then we'll clad it ourselves. But I need to find out how the best way is to get it fixed to the gate without drilling through the front of the wood. I want to try and fix it from behind, so from the front there is there's no holes, and two, there's no corrosion coming through. Even if I use stainless steel, there's going to be some form of marking coming through, which I don't want, obviously. So any ideas on that, guys, let me know in the comments below if there's any ideas you've got about what to do. How thick should I go with the wood? Bear in mind I want to try and fix from behind. How wide should I go with the slats and how far in between? I'm thinking, half an inch in between and 1.5 inches to 2 inches wide. And depth-wise, I was going to go for half an inch, 3/4 inch, but I might have to go for an inch if I'm going to be fixing from behind, which would be bloody expensive. So any thoughts on that, let me know. Once the actual manholes are delivered, I'll let you know what they look like. I'm also ordering the ventilation holes for the pump room from Aura, like I told you just a minute ago. So when they come, I'll tell you what they look like as well. They're going to be aluminium, they're going to be anodized, and he's also doing me a test grill for the 20-inch stroke 10-inch holes in the house, which is for the air conditioning. They're working out about 225 Bayesian each, which is a bit rich, but obviously, it is what it is. So hopefully he's going to do one for me. I've already paid for it. I'm waiting for it to be fabricated. Once it's done, then I can install it and see what it looks like. And if it's good, then I can order the other 13 to 16. So again, that will help us get some ventilation going through the house, not just the basement, because again the house is sealed, so the basement breathing and coming up into the house as well as coming down from the house will help the house breathe, which would be good. So that's something we need to do. I've also got a couple of men actually that have been out and had a look at the air conditioning. We're thinking about putting some split systems in the bedrooms, which we weren't going to do. We were going to do central, but budget at the moment dictates that we're not going to be able to potentially do that. So I'm going to have a quick look as to whether there's another option. If there is, then great. If not, then it's looking like I'm going to go with that. It's working out around about 11,000 for 4 installed split units, and apparently it's working out about 23 to 25,000 for a central system. So obviously I could get the house, I could get the bedrooms done for 11, but do I do 23 and then it's out of the way and there's nothing on the walls, there's no drilling through holes and all that sort of stuff, but we do have big obviously duct work mounted from the ceilings downstairs? Or do I do the back bedrooms in split systems and maybe the front in a central system? Let me know in the comments below as to what you think. But either way, budget's very tight at the moment, and certainly the way the environment's going at the moment, it's now's not the time to be spending money, that's for sure. Obviously, whilst I'm on it, if there's anything I'm saying that makes sense, please give me some comments below. A thumbs up would be greatly appreciated, as would sharing or at least subscribing, so you get the bell button come up and notify you when I put some more content on that might bore you to death. I'll have a quick walk around in a minute and show you anything else that's changed. Other than that, I'll check in with you a bit later on. It's now 11:30. Speak soon. Okay, one thing I wanted to check out today was how the roof held up under the rain. Our stuff's holding up brilliant, but the stuff that was put on by Edwin and the guys at Nexseal, what the hell they're called, is not good. So anybody out there on the roofing world, be careful. The guys obviously at Nexseal don't really have a clue about what they're applying, because the product they're putting on sometimes is faulty, and then they turn up and try and put an alternative product on there to try and rectify the issue. And I'll show you what that secondary product does when it reacts with the first product. So their product is, let me show you. Their product is this grey stuff on here they've rolled on. So they've mixed it up, they roll onto the concrete, it absorbs into the concrete, and very, very similar to the waterproof that they actually put into the concrete. When you mix, it forms like a white crystallization and stops cracks and corrosion and stuff like that. Now, when it fails, they seem to feel that sticking this crap, which seems to be, I don't know, some form of cheap stuff they bought from somewhere, over the top of it is the solution. Now, what they're doing is they're actually applying it straight over their other product. Now, their product doesn't stop working. Their product just takes a while to work. So as you can see by the lumpiness in here, water is getting in, and then their product underneath creates like a white slime. So all of it is bubbling up. Every single bit of it just looks like a big puffy boil. That's because it is. It's one big puffy boil. So the stuff I've put down, rock hard. No, you know, I've cleaned the surface, I've decontaminated, and I've put down my stuff. Now here, their stuff was fine when I put it down, and it still is fine, but right next to it, there's another boil that's starting because there's this crap and it's penetrating water. Once the water touches this stuff, it starts calcifying and doing what it's supposed to do, and as a result just lifts everything off, which is absolutely pointless, as you can see. So the next seal, boys, whatever the hell you're called, you need to go and get yourself some training on how to actually lay some stuff on a roof, because you are literally causing people some long-term damage and a loss of money, and your warranties, as you always make out, are not valid. So be careful what you do, guys, that's for sure. My recommendation to you is go to Sherwin-Williams, buy this product here, so SL1, which is the one underneath that goes into the cracks. Buy their cloth, which you can see this square here, that's their cloth they do, and then this one here is called Freedom Flash. As long as you clean the surface properly, you can't put it down on that, for instance. Yeah, that is all. That's not a clean surface. You have to make sure the surface is completely clean, like this. Get it down to that, then obviously go over it with a grinder to ensure that it's nice and smooth, then get it completely decontaminated with dust, let it dry out, and then apply. Don't let this shit cause more problems, as you can see. So I'm up here at the moment also cutting out this was absolutely full, so I've just scraped that back, cut back what I can, try to get back to a reasonably good surface. As you can see, look, everywhere you look there's just a slime coming out. Now this is all right, this is still on there nice, so they probably went down on a nice bit of concrete here. But anywhere where they've not gone down on a concrete, even underneath my stuff, look, all I've done with mine, I've cleaned out this crack and I've just overlapped theirs. Look what it's doing to my stuff, look. Same thing, just loads of pussy slime coming out of it. So, loads of movement here, look. So I'm gonna have to cut all of this out and then wait for it to dry, and actually then try and get some stuff on it that'll actually do the job properly, which means I've got to take all this shit up as well. Even though this is bedded in at the moment, it'll only take time for this to start going off as well. So as soon as the water gets through, their product starts, other product starts doing what it's designed to do, and as a result it then lifts everything else. And it's the same on all of their stuff, look. Every single one of them is exactly the same. In England, you'd be in court. So anyway, thanks for another afternoon of hell, and I'll check in with you a bit later on.